Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Kim. Welcome to today's episode of Drawstrings, where we are drawing a T-Rex. We're drawing a T-Rex courtesy of a request by a young man in Colorado. His name is Bryce Friend, and he made the request for a T-Rex today. So I'm going to give him a shout out, say hi. Really cool suggestion. I love dinosaurs. So again, today, if you're just joining us, we are drawing a T-Rex. And typically T-Rex were like earth tone colored, like browns and taupes and beige, like more camouflage colors. But I was feeling like drawing a green T-Rex today. So I'm going to be using some green colored pencils. And you can make your T-Rex any color you want. If you want a pink T-Rex or a magenta T-Rex, that is totally up to you. Blue, white, brown, whatever. So I have a couple of medium green. I have a darker green. I have this really fun lime color. I have my white colored pencils, which we will get to use in this episode, and I have been more conscious and cognizant of that. I just never got around to using them. So last episode we made that change. We made sure we made time for those pencils. And we have our staple black colored pencils. And I have like 4 ends sharpened, John Dillon, so hopefully we won't run out today. All right, I'm going to flip you around, and we are going to start drawing a T-Rex. Hi, everyone. All right, so I had some awesome feedback last week where, I show you where to draw the eye, I show you where to start the nose, but I'm not showing you where to go on the paper. And actually, my tail went off the paper for this drawing. I wanted to be accurate and show you how to actually have like a longer tail, because a T-Rex tail had like 40 vertebrae, which meant it was really long, and it helped to balance the head of the T-Rex, which is disproportionately larger compared to the rest of the body. So where we're starting with the eye today, and with the nostril, and you can draw smaller and have it fit on one page if you want, or you could do multiple pages. I tend to draw large, so it's kind of like what happens. All right, so where we're drawing today is the upper left corner of the paper. We're starting the head of the T-Rex, and we're going to start in with the eye, just like we always do. And the T-Rex had a pretty small eye, but he has some really cool like folds around it, like the skin of a reptile. Like he has some really cool folds around it. So we're going to draw that. So the eye of the T-Rex, it's not exactly circular. It's kind of like more of an oval shape, a little bit rounded, like rectangular shape. So it's very tiny. And it did have the eye reflection, the light of the eye. So we're going to draw in, and this is going to get really small, so bear with me. Just the light reflection in the eye. And then we're going to draw and darken in that center circle there, that pupil. There we go. Very nice. And now we're going to draw some folds around the eye, again, just for some distancing, just to keep that in check. So we're going to draw the first fold underneath the eye. And because it's underneath the eye, we are going to bring it up and around the eye. There we go, on the top. And we're going to do it again. Do a little bit of a larger one on the bottom. Very nice. And then with this one, what's kind of cool is we're going to take this line back a little bit and bring it up and around. So there's a little bit of space between these first folds and then the eye fold in the back here. And that is just the way that the T-Rex is made up. So there's that one. And then we actually have one larger one that's going to go up and around right there. We're going to come back behind the eye. And that's just like the cavity, the eye cavity, the skull cavity of the T-Rex, and just how that sits on the face. So, and this comes up and around the eye. It protects the eye. So that's what we have first for the eye. We're in the upper left center of the paper. And we're going to come down a little bit here. We're going to measure a little bit of a line. And we're going to start the nasal cavity, the nostril of the T-Rex, which kind of looks like a teardrop or some sort of punctuation. There we go. And then again, we're going to draw a line above the nasal cavity there, and then below because it does sit, it allows it to show that how much it sits in the face, and it's concave here and it's indented. All right, very nice. So let's start with the outline of the T-Rex because it is complicated. It's a lot. I know you're going to do an amazing job. So let's start above the eye here. Oops, sorry. And he is a little bumpy. His head's a little bumpy. So we got a couple bumps going above the eye. And then we're going to slightly curve inward here towards the face and then draw kind of a half a square bump right there because that signifies the other eye that's on the other side of his face that we can't see from this angle. From there, we're going to draw a few more lines, like sort of rigid lines, because remember the Tyrannosaurus Rex, like reptiles and birds, they're kind of like, they kind of have harder edges. They're not fluffy and soft like a bunny would be or a tiger. So we're going to come over around the nostril. We're going to get to his beak. All right. Looking good, looking good. And then we're going to come up and in a little bit under the nose. And then back down. It's kind of like the shark we did on Monday, where it does look like the T-Rex is smiling, and this line is going to stop just a little bit behind the eye. So it's going to go a little further out from behind the eye. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mirror it, come back down around. And again, this gets a little curvy. So we can draw the bottom jaw here. And then this comes in and up a little bit, and then we sort of connect it with this line there. And then we're getting to the back part of the jaw. I'm going to come up and sort of end up where we started with the inside of the mouth, where it looks like he's smiling. All right, and then we do have a little bit of an ear cavity here. So let's just draw that in really quick. Looks like sort of another oval or like a little bean shape. All right, perfect. Now, let's go back up to the top of the head above the eye, and we're going to take it the other direction now. Very nice. We're going to come down and draw the neck. So this line here sort of parallels the jaw line. They kind of look similar. So we're going to come down with this neck here. We're going to puff this line out a little bit for the chest of the T-Rex, and then keep swinging it down to the belly and then the lower belly. And then we're going to pull in right here, and then we're going to stop because that's where a leg starts. So now that we have this line here, let's draw the other side of the body. First, we're going to draw the other side, the other line of the neck, which is right underneath the jaw. And it sort of comes down and then scoots inward into the body towards this other side of the neck, and then comes down again. So down, over, down. Very nice. We're going to move a little bit out, further out of the jaw, start another line that's going to come down and then up and around, and this starts like the one of the legs, one of the thighs of the T-Rex here. So we're coming up and around, and these are more like rounded lines to show like the muscle. Very nice. And then we get to the bottom part, of the leg here, and we're going to draw the other side of the leg to kind of close off this section of the body. And this is going to come, not touching this other line, not touching the other side of the leg, but it's going to close in, kind of like how your leg gets smaller with closer to your ankle. That's what's happening here, is like it's the ankle area of a T-Rex. So we have the knee area here, and it's going to come in and create a curve. So that's ultimately where the knee is going to be. All right. And let's draw this foot. That's kind of like a claw, right? Let's start at the bottom of the leg that we have here. We're going to come out a little bit. And then we're going to draw the first toe. It looks like he has maybe 3 claws or 3 toes on each foot. So we're going to draw the first one straight down. Very nice. We'll draw the claws in a minute. This second one, this is like a little baby claw that comes off it. So if you want to draw that, you can. The second toe or claw. Very nice. And then we're going to draw, because it's here, we have a center one, a left one, we're going to draw a right one for balance, because it helps the T-Rex balance. So it's kind of like a tripod. He has 2 tripods at the bottom of his body. There we go. Okay, there's one. Let's draw the other leg. So this leg comes out from behind the T-Rex body. We're going to start with jutting out a little bit with the knee. And then coming inwards underneath the body of the T-Rex. And then again, we're going to hit the area where we see like sort of an ankle. And then we're going to drop it down. And it looks like on this side, we only see 2 of the claws. There are 3 claws there. There are 3 digits, 3 toes. But it looks like just because of the angle, we're only getting to see 2 of them. So we'll draw those in. Now, what do these claws need? They need nails, right? So let's draw those in really quick now that we have the feet drawn. We're going to draw a little nail on the edge, on the end of each toe, each digit. And these were darker. I'm just going to color it in black while we're there. Very nice. How is yours looking? All right. And then he does have this baby claw. So let's not forget the baby claw. We're just drawing in like a little hook, a little nail on that baby claw too. Okay. So on this side, we're going to draw in the baby claw. And then we're going to draw in the nails, the claws on the bottom of the T-Rex. And these nails do come in. They don't start right at the end of the foot. They come in a little bit on the toe there. So if you need to draw over the lines that you just drew for the feet, that's okay. That's what it's supposed to look like. We're going to draw one more on this side here. Very, very nice. Now, let's get to a really, really important part of the dinosaur, which is its long tail. We're going to start from the middle of the leg here and do a long line, a long curved line. That's going to sort of swing down. Very nice. All right, so that is the top of the tail. We're going to do the bottom of the tail, so we're going to move the line down a little bit closer to the knee area of the dinosaur. And we're going to swing it back around, sort of following the top line. And it's going to get smaller, which means, so the tail gets smaller at the end, and it's larger closer to the body, right? So what does that mean for us? It means that we start with these lines really far apart, and then as we get closer to the end, they sort of come together just like that. All right, one more basic thing we have to draw. I know this has been a lot to consider. Actually, two more basic things we have to draw before we get to coloring. Okay, so the first thing we're going to draw in are the hands, like the little arms of the T-Rex, because even though they were very small and mostly unimportant to the T-Rex, he didn't utilize them, he didn't use them in any way. They weren't imperative for him to be hunting. They still existed on his body, so we're going to, his or her body, so we're going to draw that in. So the first one, we're going to come off the body here. How many people think a T-Rex, the arms on the T-Rex look a little silly compared to how massive and commanding the rest of the T-Rex is? I mean, the T-Rex probably didn't mind. But so we're drawing a little arms and little claws on the outside. And then they do have, because these are the same as the toes, they do have claws as well. So that's one coming off the body on the outside of the T-Rex here, and we're going to kind of scoot across on the inside of the body and draw a second one. Jay, I know, right? Very, very silly. And yet they were the most, like, incredible hunters. All right. So there's one, and this one sort of dangles right here. They're the same amount apart, or the same height on the body. Sorry. So, and they just look like upside down. It's an upside down V, like the letter V. Okay. And then we're going to draw the claws here. And then there's one more big thing we're missing with the T-Rex, which would be the teeth. So let's get up in this Tyrannosaurus Rex mouth just on the paper, not in real life, because that would be painful. And let's get some teeth in there. The teeth on the T-Rex actually were not very big compared to the size of like his mouth, but they were very, very sharp. So let's get some teeth drawn in. They're not all the same size. Some are larger than others. Let's see. All right. And then kind of goes back up into the mouth, but it doesn't go all the way back to the very end of the mouth, like, or the very inner part of the mouth. It does not, the teeth do not go that far back on the T-Rex mouth. So we're stopping about there for the teeth. And then on the bottom, we have some more just pointy little teeth. Very nice. And if you are just joining us, today we are drawing a T-Rex by request of Bryce Friend, who is a young man in Colorado. And if you are just joining us and you would like to draw along, I do have all these videos on my page. You can go back and watch them at any time. All right, so we have the teeth of the T-Rex in right now, and most of the body just laid out. So let's start shading, which I hear is Miss Bexley Edwards' favorite thing to do. Miss Bexley is a young lady in Nashville, and I heard shading is just her favorite. All right, so now I'm using my greens. We're going to start using a little bit of a darker green, and we're going to start up around the head here, just because I really like faces, you know? I mean, you can start anywhere you want if you want to go back and do this differently, but I just really like faces. I always have. I think a face is a really interesting part of a person or part of an animal, so I think that's maybe why I gravitate towards that. All right, and I'm just drawing in, and you can do this too, I'm just drawing in some little lines that are guidelines to help me kind of figure out where I'm going to be shading first, because again, a T-Rex is actually a very complex and complicated image to draw. So it kind of helps if you want to just do quick little lines to lay it out before you really get heavy into the coloring. All right, so I'm going to start just shading, and you can follow along. So we do a little bit of darker shading here behind the eye, and I'm going to take some of that shading and do some rounded parts down the neck, because that allows for movement. It also gets darker on the inside of the eye here, where the eye sits. So we're going to color that in, and then actually we're going to come back with like a darker, even darker color later to really show the depth of that area, just to show how much this eye of the T-Rex really sinks into the face. And I don't know this for certain, even though I've read a long book on dinosaurs, and I probably should know this. I don't know this for certain, but I'm assuming it is so concave around the eye because it allowed the T-Rex to protect its eye better. Because the T-Rex would get into some pretty crazy situations. When you're stalking and hunting all the time for your food, things can get pretty intense when you're taking on other dinosaurs. All right. So we're shading up, and we're going to shade a little darker up along above the nasal cavity here. Very nice. And then he kind of looks like a Ninja Turtle a little bit right now. And then we get a little bit shading along the bottom of the, or the top of the mouth line as well, above the teeth, because it sort of illustrates where the teeth come up into the gum line. So we're going to shade that there on the face. Very nice. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing at the bottom. It's just kind of these little like bumpy lines. Very nice. On the bottom of the T-Rex. We are running. I just looked at the time. Oh my goodness. It takes a lot to color a T-Rex, doesn't it? All right, so there we go. And because we're going to show, it's going to allow us to show that like this jaw area is really popping off the neck, we're going to draw in darker. We're going to shade in darker underneath and behind the back of the jaw area, right there. Very nice, very nice. And also underneath here. And then we kind of get a little bit of shading, darker shading that brings us down to and around this little guy arm here. It's just a baby arm. All right. Same thing with the other arm. We get a little bit of shading where that connects. Very nice. All right. Let's get to the bottom part of the body. So there's going to be some darker areas here at the bottom part, like of the stomach and body area, as opposed to these lighter areas. And then we're going to color in. Gets a little darker around the knee and then lightens up. And then it's a little bit darker on the leg, where the leg connects to the body of the T-Rex. So pretty much anytime there is a connection or a crease, we're going to illustrate that by having it be a little bit darker. Okay. Let's put some color on the feet here. Very nice. Let's head back up to the leg, and we're jumping around a little bit now because we are getting close to time. And I wouldn't mind, I would hang out here all day, but I know a lot of people have a lot of stuff to do. So want to be respectful of that. Try to get in a dinosaur. Let's color. Let's shade part of the thigh on the dinosaur. And bring that dark shading down to the calf and down to the ankle. Very nice. And then let's shade in these digits, these claws. And let's not forget the tail. So again, it's coming off the body, so we're starting a little bit darker. It's an appendage that comes off the back here. I'm shaking up my desk. All right. Looking good, looking good. And then it kind of gets darker as well at the end, at the tip of the tail, because it's at the bottom. So let's illustrate that, get some shading in. Very nice. All right. Let's go for this medium green now and really lay in some color throughout the whole T-Rex, throughout the snout, color in that other eyelid, get the jaw, and again, we're just doing broad strokes, so I have the pencil at an angle, and it's allowing me to color a decent area, a larger area, in a smaller amount of time. Let's color in this little guy claw here. Shade in the body. Shade in the leg. Get the claws. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I'm being very messy right now with my execution, with my technique, but it's still getting the point across. It's still allowing us to understand volume. It's allowing us to understand what exactly this creature is. It's allowing it to look connected by just getting like a basic color inside the entire Tyrannosaurus Rex. Very nice. Now, let's see. I'm going to go back to a darker color here. This is like a dark gray. And we're just going to fill in a little bit. And I actually think that this might be, just because of what we're drawing, this might be more beneficial than going back over anything with white right now. So we'll save that for next time. But we're going to color in the area around the eye a little bit darker. It's just a creative choice, and you don't have to do this. I just wanted to be able to show that depth, because it is such a crazy, massive, awesome animal. So I just wanted to be able to illustrate that. And I think because of where we're at with the drawing, it's going to look way cooler if I illustrate that with like the darker tones than the lighter tones. See, doesn't he already look more menacing? Let's color in that mouth area. Make sure not to color over the teeth, because he needs those to chomp his dinner. Very nice. Really good. And we'll just do a few more quick lines, and then we'll get to our song today, where we learn about what we just drew, where we learn about the Tyrannosaurus. All right. A little color here. A little bit there. Kind of swinging all over the place. Just really want to illustrate how much shadow makes a difference, how much shading makes a difference with your artwork. Let's see. All right, and we have our T-Rex. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy doing a drawing? If you did a drawing today along with me, I would love to see it. So please have your mom or dad leave it in the comments. This show is open to all ages, so if you were just an adult who joined along, I would love to see the artwork as well. Let's flip you around and we're going to sing a song about the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Hi guys! I hope you had fun today. I know some of these projects can be a little daunting. They can be a little long, and I try to do my best to keep it simple, but being simple is not Miss Kim's specialty, just in life. So, anyway, this is a song that I wrote about the Tyrannosaurus Rex. La la la, my Tyrannosaurus. La la la, and what I do best. La la la, is hunt down my dinner. La la la, my Tyrannosaurus Rex. 7 tons, I weigh in at 7 tons. Added up, I weigh as much as 7 hippos or elephants. My arms are small, my jaws are strong, my legs are heavy and my tail is long. My tail is long, that's what I said. It helps to balance my huge head. La la la, my Tyrannosaurus. La la la, what I do best. La la la, it's on down my dinner. La la la, my Tyrannosaurus Rex. My jaws are so powerful, and with my teeth I crunch on bones. I move fast, but I don't get old. I only live for 30 years or so.